Democrats don't know how people think anymore. They think about their country, they think about the cost of things, and the working people figured, well, all these college kids, all the ones who went to elite universities, all looking down on us. Besides that, besides all this, we're getting condescension and the deplorables and all that stuff. And they felt it, and they voted that way.
That's why you're losing. Because that's what I heard. And I didn't hear it from Republicans. I didn't hear it from Trumpers. I heard it from Democrats over the past 3 or 4 years. Their kids were afraid to talk in class and say something unpopular because they would be canceled. Democrats should be smarter on the women's athletics thing. 85% of Americans oppose men transitioning after puberty and competing against women. One way we don't do this is by allowing men who transition after puberty competing against young girls who have been working their entire lives to be as good as they can be, and then they get destroyed.
Tonight's red-hot video, the blame game has begun. Democrats and their many friends in the corrupt news media are pointing fingers, as you might expect, for Kamala's humiliating, crushing defeat yesterday to Donald Trump. Just great stuff. Some of them are even fessing up that, it's the left's woke policies that did them in. Now, amazingly, it's taken this before they shake their heads real hard like cartoon characters and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't have guys beating up our daughters and we shouldn't have all this fictional lunacy about the border and everything else. And, but I expect that it won't last at all. They'll be done with this by tomorrow morning. Well,
and as Hilton just said, they blame us for it, right? They blame the American people. They don't want to take any responsibility for the values of their party. Right. On Monday morning, we looked at the vote. If you remember over the weekend, there was all this talk about the women's vote and how women were coming out in historic numbers to support Kamala Harris. The numbers weren't there. On the morning, on early and absentee ballots, there were 10% less Democrat women who had voted compared to that exact same day in 2020, and 7% more Republican women who were voting on that exact same day in 2020. So there was, going into the election day, there was over 500,000 women who had sat out in the battleground states, and it's because, first of all, don't tell us that we're not a women for 4 years and then expect us to show up and support you.
And it's also, don't just focus on abortion as the only issue affecting Americans, both men and women, because it affects men too.
Because these people also think men can get pregnant.
Correct. Exactly.
There are other issues that Americans care about, you looked at the Florida abortion referendum. That did not pass enough to get into law. And so I think Democrats have to look at these types of cultural issues and say, hey, it's not just economic policies. It's are we condescending to people?
Yes.
Do we listen to the working class?
No.
Thank you for answering, Matt.
I'm answering their question. They don't care about it.
If they want to win, they will have to care.
Politico actually wrote an article like 4 years ago called Democrats try to learn how to speak like normal people or something like that. And they clearly haven't done that.